Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. You are live with IFMA, your training support team, which is myself here on the call with you today. And we are going to be talking about Pathfinding Your Best FM Training. So we have people joining from all around the world. I would love to know where you are joining from. If you can type it in the chat, if you're joining us on LinkedIn or attending the event directly with an invitation, please type into the chat box where you are joining us from. I myself am located in Stavanger, Norway, which is why I'm able to bring this live presentation to you now, hopefully at a time that is convenient to you. The rest of IFMA staff and colleagues are in Houston, Texas in the United States, so that they will have a presentation at 11 a.m. Central Time for the US. So I have this presentation now. I also will be giving this presentation again at 11 a.m. Central European Time. So if you have a colleague that can make it right now or a supervisor you want to see the training, let them know that I will also be giving this presentation again in a couple hours. So thank you for joining us. I see we have some people mentioning where they're joining from. So India, Dubai, Oman, Turkey, Egypt, welcome. Thank you all again for joining. My name is Lauren Kruger. I'm the Director of Sales Operations for IFMA. I've actually been with IFMA for almost 10 years now. So started in the membership department and am now with our professional development team and sales. So I've been around a while. I know quite a bit about the organization by now. So if you have any questions at all with anything, membership, events, please don't hesitate to ask. This presentation is live on LinkedIn. If you want to go back and watch this, it will show up on your LinkedIn feed so that you can access and watch this recording again. IFMA also has a YouTube channel, so if you are able to access YouTube, you can also see this recording there as well. And hello from Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, Bangalore. Welcome, welcome. I also want to briefly mention some of our other colleagues around the world. IFMA has a number of regional offices. Excuse me. Lara Payman is IFMA's managing director for IFMA Europe and the Middle East, EMEA. We have Vinay, who works in India, who works with our training and credentialing. He's the lead there. Mahender Singh is IFMA India's managing director, but you may see Vinay's name as it relates to FM training. And then we have Cici Dai, who's IFMA's managing director in IFMA China. So if you are located in any of these regions or countries, there are IFMA chapters and offices nearby. So if you are not yet connected or looking to get more involved in a chapter or with IFMA, please reach out to these individuals and they can help you get started. So for those of you who are not familiar with IFMA, IFMA is the International Facility Management Association, and our vision is to lead the future of the built environment to make the world a better place. IFMA has been around for over 40 years. We do have 139 chapters with members in over 100 countries. We do have over 22,000 members worldwide. So you heard me mention chapters a little bit. IFMA has geographically based chapters around the world. So that is a collection of professional members of IFMA in a certain city or country. And that's a way for you to connect with other professionals in your local city, to attend meeting events with the chapter, training. Some chapters give conferences and events that happen regularly. So it's an opportunity for you to connect with other professionals in your city. And we do have a list of those chapters on the IFMA website. I know a bunch of you that have been saying that you're from Nigeria and India. We do have quite a few chapters there in those countries. Lagos, we have a chapter in Lagos. So if you are not familiar, if there's a chapter in your city, please go to the IFMA website. We do have that list. And then you can also reach out to those regional directors, which I mentioned on the previous page. And IFMA's mission is to advance our collective knowledge, value, and growth for facility management professionals to perform at the highest level. So IFMA is here to really help advance the built environment, facility management, and then to help you grow in your knowledge of facility management. So what does it take to be successful in FM? You have to have some facility management's foundational skills, and what goes into developing and working on those skills is a passion for learning and staying up to date on industry trends. Facility management is ever changing, and continuing to increase your knowledge and your training on new trends and topics in the industry is going to help you grow in your facility management skills. You do need a solid foundation in the fundamentals of facility management, and we'll talk a little bit more in the future slides on what that is. You need a determination to make an impact on your organization and confidence in your expertise from those skills that you've gained, verified by credentials from IFMA or the training courses that you participate in from IFMA. So why does lifelong learning matter? I know it is important for myself. One of my character traits from those many surveys and leadership skills that are out there is that I have been identified as a lifelong learner. So I love to continue to read and absorb knowledge. And so we saw on the previous skills that is very crucial to continuing to grow in your career and develop those essential FM skills. So lifelong learning is important for those as you in your career, so that you are maintaining your knowledge, you're up to date on trends, what's happening in your industry, and that you're not necessarily being stuck in the past with something that has been done repeatedly, but now new research or trends show that it can be done a different way. And IFMA has a unique way of developing its training courses for you so that we are at the intersection of your career and training needs. Dependent upon where you are in your career, you may need certain training that is different from someone who may be 10 plus years into their career. So IFMA has developed its courses to meet you, whether you are just starting out in facility management or if you are someone who has a 10, 15 plus long career in facility management already. And we'll talk a little bit more about those courses. So growing beyond your current depth of knowledge, not only is training important to the individual yourself, but also to the groups, to your facility management departments or teams within your organization. And having individuals go through in your department this training is going to help you create consistent knowledge across the board to have those strong FM outcomes within your departments or teams. You're creating a higher standard of excellence for the individuals within your team. You're creating a unified approach to facility management. So by providing training and credentialing to your department or team, you are having everyone speak the same language, be on the same playing field, developing those skills of your team so that you are creating a unified approach. And it's keeping up with the demands of an evolving profession. We've already said this many times in the profession. Keeping up with trends and sustainability, digital digital transformation that's happening. Technology is just ever changing. Something that happens today is not the same that happens tomorrow. So keeping up with the demands, training helps that with your entire team or department. And learn beyond the way things are done in your company. So you may have specific measurements or processes that are specific to your company, but by participating in training or credentialing from IFMA, you are learning more about the facility management as a global standard. So what else can be done that it's out there, not just specific to your company or an industry or geography or vertical. And this is a great quote from Brent Ward, who is an FMP. This is a quote that he mentioned as he was earning the FMP. He was able to hone existing skills, bringing them to a whole new level. And there were also processes and strategies that I had never thought of, giving me a more balanced skill set. So on-the-job training is great, but some things just aren't called for every day. And this made me more comfortable in my skin, confident that I was ready for whatever came my way. So if you are someone who, is set with how your company does things, but want to see what else you can do to grow and take your organization or company to a further place, training and credentialing with IFMA can help you learn what are those global standards for facility management so that you can bring your company forward and advance, not only in your career, but with your organization. So this is a brief screenshot of the different programs that IFMA offers. And we're going to talk about pathfinding and where is the best place for you and your team or department. So we're going to start here at the beginner level for the essentials of facility management. This is for those new to facility management or from an FM adjacent role. So someone who may just be an HVAC technician and is looking to grow their career and get into facility management. This Essentials of FM program is a great place for you to start. And it's really to gain that high level understanding of what the role of a facility manager is. You're going to learn key concepts and terminology within facility management. You're going to be learning that workplace management side of facility management, so managing people. This is, we like to say, for those that have less than a year of experience in facility management. This is a great program for you. The next step up, you're going to have our facility management professional, our FMP credential. And I should note, if I did not say this already, the Essentials of Facility Management is not a credential program. It is a training program. The FMP is a credential, which you'll see these three here are credentials. The FMP is really for those individuals seeking to gain knowledge of standards and best practices. So typically FMP earners have at least a year of FM experience. There's no requirement that you need in order to participate in the FMP credential. But typically we see people have at least a year of experience under their belt. And it is for those that want to gain knowledge in the 4 foundational competencies. And we'll talk about what these are a bit more in the slides. But the FMP is for those needing that foundation in the 4 competencies. The SFP is our sustainability facility professional. This is for FMs already with a strong foundation of FM knowledge. The SFP focuses on sustainability and goes into 3 specific focus areas. So the SFP is going to build upon that foundational knowledge that is covered in the FMP credential. It is not required for you to have the FMP credential before pursuing the SFP credential. However, much of that foundational knowledge is covered in the SFP. So we do say that you should have some experience and knowledge in the foundational because the SFP builds on that foundation. So it's really for those that want to implement sustainable practices within any facility, regardless of that facility's age. The SFP, we are finding, is becoming more and more relevant every day. And it's a wonderful complement to those that have LEED certified buildings, because the SFP is going to focus on you, the facility manager, and how to continue to run a LEED certified facility at that efficient, sustainable operations. And then we have our master level, which is our CFM, our Certified Facility Manager. So this is for experienced professionals who meet eligibility requirements. You do have to have at least 5 years of experience in the majority of the 11 competencies that make up the facility management body of knowledge in order to be eligible to apply for the CFM. So you do have to have at least 5 years. For the FMP and the SFP, there is no eligibility requirements. Like I mentioned, we typically say the FMP, you should have at least a year of experience. It's not required, but that's what we find on average everyone has. The CFM, you do have to have at least 5 years of experience before you can apply. And that's because the CFM is not a training program. It's not training you on any of the competencies. The CFM is a competency-based exam that is going to verify that you have the knowledge of the 11 competencies. So it's demonstrating mastery of those 11 competencies through your knowledge and experience. So the CFM exam is going to test not only your knowledge, but how you apply that knowledge to certain scenario questions on that exam. So that is why we require at least 5 years of experience, and is really for those that want to have that credential behind your name to say, yes, I am a master in the 11 competencies, I have the experience, and this is what that CFM credential does, is it verifies your mastery and your professionalism within facility management. And I should say that I'll go back real quick. The FMP, the SFP, and the CFM are all globally recognized and ANSI ANAB accredited credential programs. So what does that mean? That's a lot of words. Basically, we have a third party that has come in to review all of IFMA's policies and procedures, all of the subject matter experts of our global job task analysis that created these credentialing programs. They review all of IFMA's policies and procedures to verify that we have met a level of standard needed for a credentialing program. So what this does is that this third party has said, yes, IFMA as an organization is accredited. Their credentialing programs meet the standard needed to be considered a quality credentialing program. And that really protects the integrity and the value of the credential that you receive from IFMA because we have these credentials that are accredited. There are many credentialing programs out there. There's many certificate programs, there's many certification programs. But if those programs are not accredited by a third party, you really don't know how those programs were created, who created those programs, what is the learning objectives and concepts that go into those programs. So having this third party that says, yes, IFMA's policies and procedures meet that standard needed for a credentialing program, you are rest assured that this program meets that level of standard. And ANSI, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned, is the American National Standards Institute, is the North American arm of ISO, if you are familiar with ISO. So develop a personalized training plan. Improve your knowledge while living your life. That is key, right? I am from the United States, but as I mentioned at the beginning, I am now living in Stavanger, Norway. And one thing that I love about the European lifestyle is that you balance work and life. So how can you as facility managers, we understand that you are busy, 24/7 every day. So how do you do your job, also maintain that life balance, and develop your skills personally to help you grow in your career and your job? IFMA's training programs are completely flexible. We have them that are available for self-study online, or we have classroom courses. So we provide an opportunity for you to participate and to upskill your knowledge at a time that is available to you. So, mapping your knowledge, our training plan really creates a blueprint of your strengths so that you can build a bespoke learning plan, so that you aren't purchasing one program that includes everything imaginable when you may not need the knowledge in those certain areas. So by participating in IFMA's training, you're picking and choosing the programs that you have knowledge gaps in. So, like I mentioned, you may not need everything IFMA offers, but you want to know, where are your knowledge gaps? What programs do you actually need? IFMA's, we have certain tools that are available to you to understand your knowledge gaps so that you can pick and choose the training that you actually need, and that you're not purchasing a one-size-fits-all program. So you can articulate your current skills and training needs. And the benefits of this is, obviously, it's unique to you. You gain the knowledge where you need it, when you need it. You're saving yourself time and money, and you're avoiding boredom and frustration. Like I mentioned, you may not need some or all of these programs. So by really identifying your knowledge gaps and what programs you actually need, you're able to develop those skills and not get frustrated with training that you already have a good understanding of. So the tool that IFMA offers to help you identify your knowledge gaps is called IFMA's Self-Assessment tool. So this is a way to evaluate your skills and create a blueprint for your training. It can take up to 2 hours for you to complete, because it is a series of 300 questions that really help you identify where your gaps in knowledge are in the 11 competencies. So you'll see this scale here on this picture from 0 to 5. This self-assessment tool is going to ask you, like I mentioned, more than 300 questions, where you're going to rate these questions as having no awareness or experience, or all the way to number 5, which is an expert recognized authority. So this self-assessment is going to go into all of the topics and concepts that are covered within the 11 competencies. And so those 11 competencies is what IFMA calls the facility management body of knowledge. So by going through and rating these questions within each of these competencies from 0 to 5, it is then going to identify your strengths and weaknesses within these competencies. And once you've completed this, it does produce a report for you to say, here is where your strengths, here's where your weaknesses are. You may want to purchase X training program in order to develop your gaps. This report can be shared with your supervisor or leadership to help articulate those training needs to you. And this is a great tool for those that run a department or team and want to understand the knowledge gaps within each of your members of your team. This is a great tool for you. This self-assessment tool is $25 US for members and $50 US for non-members. And there is a small fee to this, because this self-assessment tool is something that you can continue to come back to. So when you do this test, this self-assessment, it is going to ask you, have you completed any facility management training previously before taking this self-assessment? If you have, great. It will take that into consideration as you go through and answer these questions. If you haven't, that's perfectly fine. Again, it will take that into consideration as you go through these questions. Now, as you take training with IFMA, you can come back to the self-assessment again and again and retake it in order for it to update on where you've gained knowledge and maybe where you had gaps previously. So as you continue to come back in and take this, once you've filled those knowledge gaps, it will continue to suggest other programs that you still may have some weaknesses in. So this is a tool that is available to you, never ending. It's in perpetuity, so that you have the opportunity to come back to continue to evaluate your knowledge gaps and continue to develop skills that you know you may be lacking or needing more training in. So this is a great tool for you to have for the rest of your career so that you can continue to evaluate yourself and grow. So you've heard me made mention of these 11 competencies. What are they? So these 11 competencies that you see on the screen here are what IFMA calls the facility management body of knowledge. So from that self-assessment, it is asking you the topics and concepts of questions within each one of these 11 competencies. So after you've completed that self-assessment, that report will tell you you may have weaknesses in communications and project management. Then you know that you have weaknesses in those two competencies. You have the ability to go in and purchase just this communications course and just this project management course. You do not need to purchase all of these competencies. This self-assessment tool really hones in on your weaknesses and your strengths so that you are purchasing the training that you need, not a one-size-fits-all. So it's very on-demand, flexible, targeted training where you are in your career. You'll see at the very top, we have these 4 here with this FMP logo in the top right. That's because these 4 competencies are the foundational competencies of facility management. So you have finance and business, operations and maintenance, leadership and strategy, and project management. These 4 are foundational. That means that every professional in facility management touches on these competencies. Their job, roles, and responsibilities fit within these 4 competencies on a daily basis. The other 7 that you see here, you may touch on here and there, that you might come across them, but the foundational 4 are what you do on a daily basis. So these 4 foundational competencies is what makes up the FMP program. That's why you'll see this FMP logo up top. You can purchase each one of these individually. You can purchase the entire FMP program. Again, this is for those that want training and more knowledge in the foundational 4 competencies. And each one of these courses that you see here contains the online content and material to read. You have the ability to access this online at any time and go through this content at your own pace. They contain chapter quizzes. So as you read through the chapters online, it will give you progress checks, these quizzes, so that it helps you to understand, are you actually grasping the concepts that you're learning? If not, then you may want to go back and reread that section. If you've answered these questions correctly, it may show that you have a good handle of the knowledge and can continue on in the content. It also provides progress reports from those quizzes so that you can understand where your learning is within that course. And then at the end of each one of these courses, there is a final assessment. You must pass this final assessment in order to complete this training course. We do provide a certificate of completion and a digital badge after you've completed one of these 7 training courses and for the FMP. So once you've completed the FMP, you do receive a certificate stating you have that FMP credential as well as a digital badge. And those digital badges, you may have seen some colleagues claim them on LinkedIn if you've seen that. It's just a way for you to show your your colleagues, supervisor, that you have that credential. And when someone clicks on that digital badge, it will tell them where you took that credentialing program from, what were the skills that you've learned, what were the policies and procedures that created that program. So it's a great way for someone to see that you've gained that knowledge and skills and that training from completing that program. So we at IFMA offer a number of opportunities to help you complete this training. So we don't want to just leave you, high and dry if you're not understanding what the training is trying to teach you. So we offer a number of resources to assist you. With IFMA membership, you gain networking with experts, so you can work with other individuals also going through the training. You receive access to an engaged forum for the FMP or the SFP or the CFM. So if you are someone pursuing one of those credentials with IFMA, this group allows you to connect with other individuals going through the training. And then you do receive discounts on IFMA's training if you are a member of IFMA. You do not need to be a member to purchase any of IFMA's training, but you do receive member pricing on all of the training programs. And then we also offer group training support. So we have our teams here to help you track your progress, support you as you go through these programs, and provide guidance and resources for best practices for completing not only your FMP, but your SFP and your CFM as well. And we do provide guides for the FMP and the SFP to help you understand how to organize your time so that as you go through these programs, you can complete it with a goal in mind, whether that be 4 months, 12 months, or 2 years. So we're able to provide a guide for you to help you organize your time so that you can complete it while also maintaining that personal life. So take advantage of special savings today because you sat with me throughout this entire presentation. Thank you. We are offering a few discounts for you on purchasing the courses. You can use the discount code FMKnowledge50 to receive $50 off of the Essentials series or one of those FM competency courses. And you can use FM Knowledge 100 to receive $100 off of the FMP bundle. So that will include all 4 foundational courses, the SFP Credential Program, or the Core Competency Course bundle. So we do include a bundle of those other 7 competency courses. So if you are someone that has the FMP already and want to pursue training in the other 7 competency courses, we do have a bundled option for you as well. These discounts are valid through the end of July, so you have a couple weeks here to look through the training courses, decide which one is best for you, maybe take that self-assessment to determine which training courses you need, and even take this to your supervisor and help them understand the training and see if they will support your pursuit of training through IFMA. So that is the presentation today. That's all we're going to cover. If you have any questions at all, now is the time to insert them into the chat and I can answer those for you. Or you can reach out to us at IFMA and we are happy to talk with you one-on-one about what your options are, what your background and experience is to help you decide what is the best program, what's the best option for you or your team. If you're a supervisor that has a facility management team or department, and you're looking at upskilling your team, we do offer group discounts. So please reach out to us to make sure you're getting the best pricing if you have more than 2 people that are interested in training with IFMA. We did have One question about membership that I will answer. Someone from Ghana asked if there is a chapter in Ghana. We do have a chapter in Accra, so there is a Greater Accra chapter in Ghana that you can go to for more information and see about joining. So someone is asking, what is the total fee for the CFM? So the CFM exam is what the fee is for. So if you meet the eligibility requirements to apply for the CFM certification, it is $850 US for non-members. And if you are a member of IFMA, it is US $550. So that again is to apply for the CFM exam. Once your application is approved, then you have 90 days to schedule that exam. You have to take that exam at a testing center. We use Prometric Testing Center, and they have locations all around the world for you to take that exam. If you are someone that wants to prepare for the CFM exam, this is where these 11 competency courses come into consideration. If you meet the eligibility requirements and want to sit for the CFM exam, but also want to prepare, then I would recommend possibly taking that self-assessment tool so you can understand where your strengths and weaknesses are. That report that you'll receive from that self-assessment tool will allow you to pick and choose what training you may need additional training in. So this is a great way for you to prepare for the CFM exam, but definitely I would recommend taking that self-assessment tool so that you can understand where your knowledge gaps are. And if you are interested in becoming a member of IFMA, you can go to IFMA's website. It is US $219 to join IFMA. We do have some different membership pricing if you are located in a different country around the world that may need better pricing. So please go to the IFMA website to understand what price you need to join IFMA. That self-assessment tool is also on the website. And what I'll do after this presentation is I will post those URLs directly into the LinkedIn chat here so that you can access those directly. I can't do that during this presentation right now, but as soon as we're done with this, I will go through and I will respond to those questions and include those links. There is no eligibility requirement to become a member of IFMA. It is simply just paying the membership fee, and that's it. And then you get all the benefits of joining the IFMA organization. You can look at chapters nearby to network with other professionals. You get those member discounts on training and conferences and events. So definitely take a look at the benefits of membership, and I will include a link to those as well after this presentation so that you can access those directly. Someone had asked if they can sit for the CFM exam if they have the FMP and 3 years of experience. So no, you cannot. That used to be a requirement, but when the CFM was ANSI accredited a couple of years ago, we had to change that. So you have to have 5 years of experience. If you have the FMP already, that's great, but you still need 5 years of experience in the majority of those 11 competencies that you see on the screen. So when you go to apply for that CFM application, you will see that it asks you a number of questions, what your years of experience are within each of these 11 competencies, and you will submit that application. And we have staff on site that actually reviews all all applications and will approve the application for you to sit for that CFM exam if you meet those eligibility requirements, or they will deny it if you do not meet those requirements. So please make sure that you do have the actual requirements to sit for that exam. I will include a link to some of those that are asking that question here after the presentation. And IFMA actually gave a presentation about the CFM. I believe it was last month. So you will find that recording on IFMA's YouTube channel, as well as our previous LinkedIn recording. So I'll include a link to that as well. And that presentation goes into more about the eligibility requirements for the CFM exam and how to prepare for that CFM exam. If you have 21 years of experience, then you meet the eligibility requirements for the CFM exam. Again, if you want to understand, are you ready? Are you prepared for that exam? I would take that self-assessment. That self-assessment tool is going to define where your strengths and weaknesses are in the 11 competencies. This is going the wrong way. Let me go back to that slide. So this self-assessment tool, it's going to ask you these 300 questions in all 11 competencies. You have to answer from a scale of 0 to 5 what your experience is within each of those questions. And then at the end of that self-assessment tool, it's going to give you a report that identifies where your strengths within those competencies are and where your weaknesses are. So if you have weaknesses in quite a few of those competencies, it may be beneficial for you to do some training before sitting for that CFM exam. It is not required. If you feel confident in your knowledge, you can sit for, and you meet the eligibility requirements, you can sit for that CFM exam within the week. That is completely up to you and how confident you feel in sitting for that exam. I will mention that we do provide a free retake for the CFM exam. So if you were to fail the CFM exam on your first attempt, you do have the ability to retake that for free. So that hopefully gives you a little incentive and boost to just go and sit for that exam. If you're someone who has been preparing and maybe you're just, unsure about whether you're ready or not, that free retake is there and it is ready for you if you fail that first attempt. So again, the fee to apply for the CFM exam is $850 US, $550 for members. And then each one of these competency courses that you see here, the 7 competency courses, they are $299 US for non-members. And I believe they're $249 US for members. So we do offer a bundle for these 7 courses. The foundational 4 courses are going to be slightly more. I believe those are $715 for non-members and $615 for members, each one of these foundational competency courses. So you can find all of this information on IFMA's website. I'll include a direct link to that as well, responding to questions after this presentation so that anyone can go back and read and access those sites. Great. That seems to be all of the questions I think I answered. Again, I'm going to go back and answer them written after this presentation as well, so you have a written account of these answers. Thank you all for joining us today. I really appreciate your time. You had great questions. Here I am again. My name is Lauren Kruger. I am with IFMA. You can contact me and my team at any time. We're at corporateconnections@ifma.org, and we're happy to continue this conversation on what may be the best fit for you, what's your background and experience, so that you are choosing the training that you actually need and not purchasing something that you may not. So thank you again for your time. I really appreciate it. I will be giving this presentation again at 11 a.m. Central European time. So please send this to a colleague if you want them to see this presentation as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day.